Okay. So if you picture like an Arduino, you got like a processor part thing. You got like another component and something else and something else and something else. And they're all on a board, right? And the form factor is pretty wide and tall. And it may not fit where you want it to be. What if I wanted to put an Arduino inside the hand? But the hand bends. If the Arduino was right here, when the hand bends, it'd crack the board. So that's not good for organic humanoid designs. So I figured out that you could just connect all the components. Like, okay, so this is like a wire, 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 wire. I mean, it's probably nothing like this, but like, let's just say it's like that. We'll number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 could be here, and that connects to 2. And then that connects to 3. 3 also connects to 1. And then 3 connects to 4 and to 2. Four connects to 3 and 5. And 5 connects to 2. And so we just turned a hard circuit board into a single line, and all of these are just wire, flexible wire. So this entire setup can be like rotated. You know, it's like a string. You can just flap it around like a tail. And that's a circuit board, and it's just like so organic. And you could just like use it like a tubing and just like connect it anywhere. You can put, you know, a whole Arduino just wrapping around a hand and up into the thumb, and you can move your hand around, and the Arduino will just like mold and conform to whatever you're doing. It's not going to harm anything, not going to do anything. And by this all being insulated wiring, and then each of these parts can be wrapped in double stick tape and cotton, so it's all waterproof. The double stick tape membrane makes it all waterproof, and this is already waterproof, and then the cotton makes it absorbent, and then you can spray water on it. You can spray water on everything, and this water will make it moist, and as air blows across it, it'll cool it down. So not only is it more organic, it can be put anywhere. Heck, it could even be folded up, where 1 folds onto 2, 3 folds under 2, 4 folds under 3, 5 folds under that. You can ball it up in a little ball. A whole Arduino can be in a little cube. You can literally just like just stick it like right in the little meat of the hand right here. So like the possibilities are endless with how you can fit electronics if you don't use this big circuit board, hard, inflexible thing that can crack or what have you. It's just so difficult to work with. So by connecting everything in just more of an organic way, you're able to make the most of your space better in a humanoid robot. Gives you unlimited possibilities for how to arrange things and fit things into tight bending places. Plus, if you like cracked this, like bent this edge and it snaps, the whole thing's broken. If you put hard pressure on this 5, it's just gonna fold. because it's all on flexible wiring. So you would have to actually break the 5 in half, the actual component, to break this setup. Otherwise, you can hit it, you can hammer it, you can do whatever you want, and the Arduino will still be working because it's not on a rigid board. It's completely flexible. It can just move around. Just wet and free. And it being wet will just draw away all the heat from it, so it won't have any overheating problems. It can even work at better efficiency. Just like you can overclock a processor by giving it like a really good heat sink and a really expensive water cooling system, then you can have the processor run faster than it otherwise would be able to handle. This is that to the extreme. You're making everything wet, so you got the evaporative cooling going on. I spelled wire wrong. It's W-I-R-E. There we go. Wire. So yeah, those are my thoughts about improving the onboard Arduinos. I wanted to make the entire computer for the robot instead of having a motherboard that I would put in the chest of the robot. I wanted to make the whole computer into like this design, like organic, just wires everywhere connecting all the parts, but they're all insulated wiring and everything can be wetted down. That way you could fold up a big motherboard into a little ball, like the size of a fist, or you can have it wrapping around just between the rib cage or wherever. And what would be the advantage of that is you can take an entire computer, or 3 computers, and form something about the size of a human brain just by, wrapping it and folding it up into a ball. And you can fit that inside the skull, and then all the thinking and onboard processing could then happen actually in the same form factor as a human skull. So you could fit, tons of processors and computers, like multiple computers inside the humanoid skull. But I feel like to make a computer myself would take too long, but maybe I could do it eventually. I think putting the computer, the brains of the robot, in the skull of the robot would be very neat, and then you could use a spinal cord to send signals from that robot's brain down and out, and just like the nervous system of the human body. And by putting the brains of the computer for the humanoid in his skull, they're protected because the skull's like the safest place on the body. It's thick and it's protected. You could even fill the skull with fluid, since this design enables the electronics to be completely wet. You could fill it with fluid so the electronics of the main thinking of the humanoid can be floating inside the skull. And that'll offer incredible impact absorption. So even if the skull pounded its head onto cement, the computer wouldn't be damaged at all. I just have the parts floating around slowly and bumping into the skull, like the brain does in a human body. So it would be a lot more similar to an organic brain that way. At least this concept, I know I'll be able to do it for servo motor controllers, the Arduinos, different communications devices. I'll be able to use this organic non-circuit board design to make my circuitry. It's just, I feel like it's too much to bite off, more than I can chew, to try to make an entire full-blown computer complete with RAM, processor, and everything else, all the peripherals. Like if you look at a motherboard of a PC, it's just so complex. There's so much going on. I feel like it'd take me forever to be able to recreate that.